Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Good to have you come on with us. And as usual, I'll wait a moment or two. Francis Marie, good morning. I love to say good morning to our followers here. And of course, I miss a lot, but Patricia, good morning. Rosa. We appreciate you guys, as you well know. If you don't know that, I mean it. And Doris, good morning. Nick from our staff. And Carol, thanks for coming on. I'm enjoying my vitamin C this morning. And Patricia's from Calgary. Well, good morning. Khadija, how are you? Mary Jane from Connecticut. Nice to have you on. Andrea. And Louise, good morning. Bon matin to you. And Yvonne, good morning. And we appreciate it. Thanks again. A couple of things we're following. Terry, Prince Rupert. Well, good morning, Prince Rupert. Dawn, thanks for coming on. Dawn, couple of more here. Julie, hello. And Brahim, good morning. Portland, Oregon. Good morning, Brahim. Nice to have you on with us. Suzanne, thanks for coming on. We love you dearly. Donna, Park Hill. Marilyn. Okay, here we go. A couple more. I know I missed so many. Yvonne, how are you? Jordan from Oklahoma. Good morning, Jordan. How you doing? We appreciate you. Francine, thanks for coming on. And Kathy from Virginia. Good morning, Virginia. Lynn, Rita. We sure appreciate our faithful followers. Cheryl. And Brahim saying he's drinking his coffee too. Yeah, well, if you only knew, everyone, how good this is for you, the real vitamin C. Linda, how are you? Okay. I know I miss a lot, but got to get going. Maggie. How's Maggie? Shireen. Yeah, thanks, guys. Much appreciated. Okay, now, Colette, bonjour. Now, it wasn't, let me make a statement. It wasn't that you just got, it wasn't that we just got it wrong. Data was manipulated. Headline. It wasn't that we just got it wrong, but the data was actually manipulated. What am I talking about? Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's. For the last 25 years, we've been sent down a path. And the world of medicine, all of it, plus research, went down one path. It was a rat hole. And guys, if you haven't heard it from me, you would have if you listened. But it's worse than we thought. Because the amyloid, beta amyloid, you know what that is? That is a protein in the brain, apparently causing plaque in the brain that caused Alzheimer's. We were been told that for 25 years. And guess what we found out last week? It wasn't true. Now, I knew that. I knew that. But what I didn't know is they actually manipulated the data. And not billions of dollars, but trillions of dollars over the last period of time have been spent on research, drugs, another example of being duped. Unreal. And we got a problem, Houston. We got a problem. Because what's happened is Alzheimer's has creeped up to the number 3 killer in North America, number 1 in the United Kingdom. Guys, this is a scourge on our society. Memory, dementia, Alzheimer's. And as I've reported to you in the past, it's happening at a younger and younger and younger age. And guess what, guys? It's not beta amyloid. That was a rat hole that they went down years and years ago. And look what's happened. I think I brought this to you, I don't know how many months ago. The FDA approved a drug for Alzheimer's that works on beta amyloid. It costs $56,000 a dose. And they expected, at least in the United States and Canada, to some extent, I guess, to pay for the medication. The government. $56,000 a dose. And it doesn't even, the research, I read it, that they gave to the FDA for approval. Well, it wasn't working. Still approved it. You know why they approved it? Because they had nothing else. It's been a colossal failure. The treatment of Alzheimer's is a colossal failure. Hello? Want to know why? Because the hypothesis is wrong. It was never true. It was never true. And guys, that is terrible. Now, if you want, you can go back podcast after podcast that we've done on the brain. How to protect your brain. I think you can download that right on our website. How do you protect your brain? You know, the idea is not to get Alzheimer's. And let me say it to you. The number 1 cause of Alzheimer's, the number 1 cause, is insulin resistance. It's at the root of it. As a matter of fact, in Alzheimer's, it used to be a common, when it first started talking about it, they sort of coined the name type 3 diabetes. Don't take my word for it. You can Google that. Type 3 diabetes. That's what they were calling Alzheimer's. They were right when they talked about that. Not about amyloid plaque. It's insulin. It's insulin resistance at the root of it. Why? Well, insulin resistance, right? Insulin resistance at the brain level. When you have insulin resistance, if you send me your blood work, I can tell you whether you have it or not. I look at A1C. If it's anything 5.4 or up, you're in doo-doo. You got insulin resistance. And that's creating a silent inflammation. Yesterday we talked about pain. That's not silent. Pain is inflammation. But not silent. There's a silent inflammation. The body's response to insulin resistance. And you know what inflammation does? It's like the fog of war. Cells can't communicate with each other, including brain cells. And when you have insulin resistance, it's very difficult for insulin to get in across the blood-brain barrier and get in to mop up. You know what insulin does, guys? You know this. Insulin mops up sugar in the brain. You know what sugar does to your hippocampus? The area in the brain for your memory. You know what sugar does? It saturates it. It destroys those brain cells. It saturates especially the hippocampus of your brain. And when you have insulin resistance, your insulin has difficulty going across. Remember what insulin is. It's the traffic cop. It's trying to get sugar. Hey, you, get over here. Get out. You can't park there. Sugar, you can't park in the brain. Come here. Out. That's what insulin does. Insulin, my friend, is your friend. It's your friend until you use it too much, and then it becomes the pesky neighbor. And the more you secrete insulin, the more inflammation you create. And inflammation, okay? So one, sugar destroys your memory cells. Two, sugar and bad carbs increases insulin. Eventually you get insulin resistance. And when you have insulin resistance, you have inflammation. And guess what that does? Inflammation starts to destroy your blood vessels. And especially what they call the small vessel. Okay? Alzheimer's is often called, and dementia, small vessel disease. What's that? Well, you have little blood vessels in your brain, and they get destroyed by inflammation and the presence of sugar. The big elephant in the room, guys, the big elephant in the room when it comes to your brain and your memory and Alzheimer's and dementia is food. Food. Now, big pharma don't want that. They don't want it to be food. Big food don't want it to be food. They don't want that. So they went down a rabbit trail based on, again, theory, plaque, amyloids, proteins in the brain. They said, that's the baby right there. Nah, it never was. And when they had to, they doubled down and they manipulated the data. Now, I want to ask you a question, guys, and you got to answer this personally. Did you guys hear this story or not? That Alzheimer's and the treatment of Alzheimer's was fudged. Did you hear that? Did you hear it? Let me know if you heard it, okay? And if you did, where did you see it? Because I didn't find this in the mainstream media. Fudged. Manipulated. I don't like that, guys. I don't. Look, if you're a researcher or whatever, and you're looking, you work for a pharmaceutical company, or you work for the government, or you work for a private researcher, and you're doing research, well, good for you. But they were showing that big pharma, they manipulated the data. I don't know. Can I tell you another thing? Nobody's going to go to jail over it. I mean, trillions of dollars. How many millions of lives? Millions of lives have been destroyed by this brain-eating disease. It's a sad thing to watch. And look, we don't live in a perfect world, and I understand all that. But boy, I don't like being duped. But I've always said, you can't control everything in life, but you can certainly control what you put in your mouth every day. And my job is to speak to you about that. Your brain, and especially your memory center. Now, you got a hormonal center, okay? The hypothalamus, really important, and that is affected by food too. But nothing like your memory center. Nothing like your memory center. So the primary, numero uno, cause of Alzheimer's is insulin resistance. And my friend, you cannot get insulin resistance. You cannot get, let me say it, you're not getting insulin resistance on eating eggs, meat, including fish, and cheese. You're not going to get insulin. It's impossible to get insulin resistance. As a matter of fact, the reset has been proven. Proven to fix insulin resistance. It's meant to put insulin resistance on the back burner. A 30-day treatment. Over the years, I saw thousands of patients, and I would get people in that were starting. Their brains weren't operating properly. And one of the things we teach on the brain, and we've taught this consistently at the Martin Clinic, is what happens in your 40s, in your 50s, even in your 60s, has a major impact on your brain. A major impact. So what am I saying? Guys and gals, okay? Take care of yourself. Get into prevention. Don't worry about treatment as much as prevention. You see, big pharma is into treatment. You got Alzheimer's, you got amyloid plaque, according to them. It was never true, but that's what they said. And here's a drug. Okay, what's that going to do? You don't even want to get it. And I'm telling you something, my friend, I'm telling you something. Your brain has an amazing capacity to regenerate. It has an amazing capacity to regenerate. It's not too late. Get started. Get started. Now let me give you a little recipe, because I'm not going to be just Debbie Downer today. Okay? I'm not going to be Debbie Downer. Well, I started that way, but now I want to, and any Debbies out there, I don't take it personally. Okay? Let me give you some good news. What can you do? You take responsibility for yourself. Okay? You got a pen? You got a piece of paper? Write these down. What can you do? Well, you start with food, right? You start with food. Negative, lay off the sugar. Lay off the sugar. If you don't do anything else for your brain, this will help. Believe you me. Lay off the sugar. Lay off the crappy carbs. Because we've taught you this. Your brain is headquarters. It's the federal government. It takes taxes off the top. Are any of you on a payroll? You see where you're, hey, geez, I was making this much an hour and look at how much tax they took. Well, that went to the governments, right? You understand taxation, right? And that's what your brain is like. Your brain, if whatever you eat, it doesn't matter what you eat, your brain will take 25% of it. It's like the federal government. It wants taxes in the forms of food. Because whatever you eat, you see, that's headquarters up there. That runs the rest of your body. And it needs a lot of energy. So what does it do? Whatever you eat, okay, I take 25%. You guys share the rest. All the rest of the organs, whatever, you get 75%, but I get the first 25. So when you eat sugar, your brain says, okay, if that's what you're giving me, I'm taking it. You eat crappy carbs, your brain says, okay, I take 25%. What an effect that has on the brain. So number one, cut out. Number two, add good foods. You see, because if you send to your brain high potency nutrition, if you send to your brain vitamins, amino acids, minerals that are found especially in the animal kingdom, but you can eat plants too, your brain will thank you. Again, you have to decide what your brain's going to get. And when you eat eggs, your brain says, thank you. That's a much better fuel than sugar is. Thank you. And the cells inside your brain, especially in the hippocampus area, will thank you because you gave it the right fuel. Eggs, meat. And the reason I say that is because when you look at eggs and you look at meat and you look at dairy, good dairy, not grocery store milk, But when you eat from that trough, eggs, meat, and cheese, all the vitamins are there. Your B vitamins. Vitamin D. Vitamin A. Your brain loves vitamin A. Your brain loves the B vitamins, especially B12. Your brain won't operate properly without B12. It's not like you're going to drop dead. Oh, you don't have any B12, you drop dead. No. But you're not going to be at the top of your game, especially your memory, because B12, out of all the B vitamins, is a neurological vitamin. Your brain cells communicate with each other. And when you don't have enough B12, they ain't talking. They're not communicating properly. Why do you think I emphasize red meat all the time when people, Dr. Martin, red meat? I'm confused. Well, you're only confused because all of the nonsense out there wants to get all these fanatics I mean it. They're fanatics that want to get rid of animals. They want you to have an animal, but they don't want you to eat animal food. They're fanatics. It's craziness. It was never based on science. It's indoctrination. It's science fiction. Red meat. My word, your brain thrives on red meat. It's got saturated fat. This whole fat-free craze, what a terrible experiment on the human race. And people bought it. Fat, it can't be good. Fat, that clogs up my arteries. Fat, that's what puts weight on the scale. Fat, Doc, I used to have people come in the office and they boast, hey Doc, I'm eating fat-free yogurt. I used to look at them like, you know what's that? Your brain thrives on fat. It thrives on it. Your vitamins are in there. Your fat-soluble vitamins. You need that. You need amino acids. The most bioavailable are the ones in the animal kingdom. Your brain will thrive. Okay, so positive and negative. Negative, get rid of sugar, get rid of crappy carbs. Do it now. Start. Best if you would do the reset for 30 days. It's not an easy thing if you're a carboholic. I understand it's not easy, but is it ever worthwhile? Your brain will thank you. I mean, the rest of your body will too, but your brain. Positive. It's not a diet where you're eliminating. Okay, that's one side. But it's what you're putting into your system. The most power-packed foods are eggs, meat, and cheese, folks. I'm telling you. Nothing on the planet is as good as those three. Nothing. Not even your avocados. They're good. But they're not as good as an egg. They're just not. Don't fool yourself. Okay? And the number one food on the planet is a steak. Well, it's really liver, but I don't like liver. But there's nothing like it. It's the superfood. It's the antidepressant. It's the anti-Alzheimer's medication. I'm telling you. If they would just have said 25 years ago, whatever, you know how to get rid of Alzheimer's? Eat a steak. A steak a day will keep the doctor away. If they had just said that, they would have got a lot more results on Alzheimer's than they got today, because they didn't get none. It got worse. Didn't get better. Because they were looking for love in all the wrong places. Food. Fat. Fat. If you or any of your loved ones are worried about Alzheimer's, then you need to be on omega-3. Omega-3. High DHA. Look at your labels. You go to Costco, you go to Walmart, or whatever. Look at the label. See how much DHA. You want to know if omega-3 is good? Here's a very simple way to look at it. Omega-3. But what about my brain, doc? Well, your brain needs DHA. Now, why do you think I created the high DHA? Because that's what your brain's made up of. Your hippocampus. What's in there? Fat. What kind of fat? DHA fat. Long chain. Here's what it means. Long chain fatty acids. The longer, the better for your brain. DHA. So you guys, as individuals, read labels. Oh, it's omega-3. Yeah, but how much DHA does it have in it? I like EPA too. Don't get me wrong, I do. But there's nothing like DHA for your brain and your memory. Nothing like it. You need the right food. Eliminate the negative. You need high fat, especially the omega-3 DHA. It really protects against inflammation. It helps to regenerate the brain. And here's another one. And you knew I was coming with this. Vitamin D. The sun. Your brain, like the rest of your body, is a solar panel. Get in the sun when you can. 20 minutes. 10,000 IUs. Please don't use sunscreens. Please, please. I beg you. Get in the sun. And when you can't get in the sun, take vitamin D3. Preferably with K2. But you need vitamin D because your brain don't operate properly without it. Vitamin D is a hormone, guys. It's a hormone. I know they classify it as a vitamin, but really it's a hormone. Your body needs it. You were meant to be in the sun. God put the sun in the sky for you. Use it. Okay? Use it. I see the seniors, okay? Now, I've told you this before. I read a statistic the other day. It was frightening. It really was. Do you know that the average, when you put mom and dad in the home, you know what their average time in there is? 1 year. 1 year. Why? Yeah, they're old. Yeah, I know that. But my, oh my, oh my. Especially my generation and my parents' generation, we bought all those lies. the sun's no good, the sun's the boogeyman, and don't eat fat, and that's cholesterol, and all the things that your brain needs. Guess what they did with it? You go into a home, and, I don't go in the sun, and, whatever, and, ooh. Drives me crazy. You need vitamin D. You need the outdoors. You need the sun. Sun and brain go together. Sun and your memory go together. Here's another one. Vitamin E, exercise. The best exercise for your brain is your legs. How do you exercise your brain? Not a crossword puzzle. If you want to do that, go ahead. Okay? I'm not against it. But that doesn't exercise your brain like your legs exercise your brain. Strong legs, strong brain. If someone calls you musclehead, take it as a compliment. Not only fathead, but musclehead. Yeah, guys, this has been proven. The stronger you are, the stronger your brain is. There's a direct correlation. Hey, musclehead. No, but seriously, especially your legs. Especially your legs. Keep them strong. You know what the problem is today? We sit too much. We sit too much. That's what's happened in the last 100 years in a lot of ways, hasn't it? We sit too much. Strong legs, strong brain. So vitamin E, any exercise is good. The best is strengthening exercises. I read a study this morning on grip strength. Maybe I'll bring that to you. Just the strength of your grip has a major connotation to your health. You lose your strength, you lose your brain. Okay? Can I give you another one in ending? One more. You want a healthy brain? See what I got in my hand here? For those who are listening on a podcast, I got the real vitamin C. Coffee. You know why? I'll tell you why. There's many reasons. I'm going to tell you the number one reason. Coffee, with all its polyphenols, over 1,000 of them. One of the things it does is it helps your blood vessels, especially those little arteries in your brain. More blood supply, the better your brain, the better the memory center. Coffee. And I mean it, and I'm doubling down on it. Seriously. Okay. Some people think I'm joking when I talk about my coffee. No, I'm not. I'm not joking. Okay. Okay, you guys have a great day. Now remember, Friday is what? Question and answer Friday. So get your questions in. Okay? Get your questions in for Friday. We'll have a fun show. In the meantime, it's never too late to start. This is the takeaway. You can change today. Takes willpower, takes discipline, it takes determination, but you can do it. Okay. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.